Good day, lovely people. It's your favorite Sombrero CEO back now from a week upstate in near Woodstock. I have an old high school friend back from Denmark who has a house up there, and it's just magnificent and gorgeous. It's in the mountains. There's valley. There's a stream down below that you can hear all day round. There's an outdoor hot tub. There's like sun and snow and rain and hiking and all these things. It's really amazing. I love to get out of the city. I live in New York City, so it's so nice to get out of the city and just experience a little bit of nature. It's a great way for me to, connect with something deeper in myself. And so, it's always a good thing to connect with nature. It really helps us connect with ourselves. Hey, Kristen from Norway. Norway has lots of great nature. I know that. So what I wanted to talk about is like knowing yourself and knowing your purpose. Because that was something that I went upstate to work on for myself. As I've talked about before, I want to get out doing speaking at conferences and events and like big events and small events and inspire a generation of entrepreneurs to do work that is really, impactful and working in the real world and is deeply anchored within themselves in knowing themselves and their purpose. And so the plan that I'm working on mapping out for that is basically like knowing your emotions and how they work and knowing your thoughts and beliefs and how that works, which is critically important, right? Knowing that just because I feel like my feelings are not me, and what to do with them and my thoughts and my beliefs are not me, my identity is actually not me, and how to work with that. But then the next step, which is what I wanted to talk about today, is knowing yourself. And so if you're someone like me, then like when we grow up, when we're a kid, right, we get praise and attention when we do certain things, and we don't get praise and attention when we do other things. Maybe we even get scolded or yelled at or told that we're wrong in some way. And so naturally what happens as a kid, the kid doesn't think, oh, these parents are crazy. They don't know what the hell they're talking about, right? That's not how it works. The kid is going to be, you as a child is going to be like, oh, this is who I need to be to please my parents, and I should stop being this way. And so it's kind of like if you have a plant, right? And you like the tree here behind me, and it's just like this tiny little thing, and it always gets light from just one side. Always, right? What's going to happen is that plant is going to move towards the light. And so if it's in the window, maybe you need to turn it every once in a while so it doesn't go all lopsided, right? But as kids, that's what actually happens to us. We go lopsided because we get praise when we do certain things, and they might not be what we are. Typically, our parents can see part of who we are, part of our being, but not all of it. So for me specifically, right, both of my parents were programmers, and I showed a very early aptitude for programming, got really good at it. I was excited about it. And it was a way for me to get consistent praise from my parents. So I got very good at it, and now, created a software company, and, I'm still coding, and it's great, but it's not really what I'm here to do. There are other people out there that are better programmers than me and that enjoy it more. There are other things that I'm here to do. I'm here to share this message about entrepreneurship and to be on stage and to be speaking in front of audiences like I'm doing right now. That is actually what I'm here to do. And so if I'm spending all my time programming and not doing that, then that's obviously a problem. And so the same goes for you. Like knowing who you are and why you're here is so critically important. Gay Hendricks talks about the zone of excellence, which would be, for me, programming. I'm really, really good at it. Make money doing it. Everybody's happy when I do it. I solve people's problems and it's great, except it's not why I'm here. So if I keep doing that, I'm 45 now. I just turned 45 last Wednesday. And if I keep doing that for another 5 or 10 years, then probably my health would start to suffer. My relationships would start to suffer because it's not my design. It's not my zone of genius is what Gay Hendricks would say. Zone of genius is that place where you're adding like a tremendous amount of value and it doesn't feel like work and it's just the easiest thing in the world. And that's where you want to transition yourself to living like pretty much exclusively in your zone of genius your entire life. That's where you want to get to. But the challenge is you might not even know what it is. Like if I hadn't actively started looking, I probably would never have realized this, because like zone of excellence, it's great. I'm getting results. I'm making, a difference to customers and everybody's making money, right? So there's no incentive in that way to even go explore your zone of genius, your purpose, your passions, except maybe health or relationship issues or other things that happen when your creativity is not fully engaged, right? Maybe people go have affairs or sabotage themselves in other ways because they're not living their zone of genius. And so one of the things that I love to do is do personality tests. I've done the Strengths Finder and the Kolbe A Index and Wealth Dynamics and DISC and Myers-Briggs and like whatever, all of them. I'll take them. And I feel like I always learn something new about myself, human design. And some of them are better than others. Those that involve me having to know myself and answer questionnaires like DISC or what was the other one I was doing? But you know the type, like Enneagram or whatnot. Those I don't like as much. I've taken the DISC test like several times in the past, and I took it just last week, 2 different tests, and I get kind of different results every time because of the way the questions are phrased, and you have to like most and least likely and then where. And one of my challenges in my makeup is I'm really bad at knowing myself. I'm actually really bad at knowing myself and who I am and that kind of stuff. And if that's you too, then those kinds of tests can be they can still be helpful, but just take them with a grain of salt. 2 systems, well, in that category, the one test that has resonated the most with me is Wealth Dynamics. If you're not familiar, go check it out. It's amazing. Wealth Dynamics, just Google it and you'll find it. It's a $97 test, and you get this PDF report. I'm a creator in that system, and that has been a breakthrough for me to realize what that means, I'm basically the same type as a Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or a Richard Branson, which is interesting, right? Because those are 3 of my biggest heroes, especially the last 2. I'm going to be meeting Richard Branson again in a couple of weeks on Necker Island. So it's pretty exciting. So that one has been really, really impactful for me. Just telling me where in kind of the wealth creation cycle I fit and what kind of people I need to surround myself with. I tend to want to surround myself with other creators, which is not a good thing. I don't need more, creators around me. That just wreaks more havoc. We have too many ideas, and it just creates too much change and disruption in things that really don't need changing. And we're, time optimists. We think that things you can do way more in less time than people actually can, including yourself. One of the things the report says is like, don't give the creator boss a desk at the office. Actually, don't even give them a key to the office. Like, keep them out of there, because they're just going to come in and change all kinds of things that really don't need changing. And I can definitely relate to that. And I'm sure my team can definitely relate to that. But it's helpful to know, right? Really helpful to know what kind of activities I should focus on in order to be most impactful and create the most amount of wealth for myself, obviously, but also for others, right? Because the way that you create wealth is you create wealth for others. Zig Ziglar always used to say, you can have all of the things that you want as long as you help enough other people get what they want, right? This is how it works. I help you get what you want, and in the process of doing that, I get what I want. So it's a win-win. which is the beauty of the capitalist system of the marketplace. That's exactly what that is. Like, we enter into a deal that is beneficial to both of us, right? Amazing, fantastic. And it's all voluntary. If you don't want the deal, don't take the deal. If I don't want to go into that deal, I don't do the deal, right? That's how that works. Pretty simple. But so the two tools that don't require you to know yourself that I really like is fingerprint analysis. So if you go to handanalysis.net, or even better, go to Beth Davis. I think her website is simply BethBaeth.com. She does readings, and they're not cheap. They're like, I think maybe $2,000 for a reading or something like that. It's a fair, significant investment, but it's well worth the investment. I've just been back and revisited sessions that she did with me in 2005. You get the recording. And by the way, I found this amazing tool that is great for these kinds of things. It's called Trint.com. And so you upload the audio or video of a session like that. Hold on, this is blinking all the time. You upload the audio or video, and then they transcribe it. I think it's some AI transcription. But what it lets you do is it lets you just like see the transcription. You can go edit it because it's going to get things wrong all the time, or some of the times at least. But then you can like just jump into a place in the transcription, and the video is right there, so you can hear it and read it at the same time. And it's you can highlight things, and then you can export just the highlights. Really amazing tool. Really, really, really helpful. Check it out. Trint.com, Trint.com. And so that helps you like with these sessions. Anyway, just that was a side note. But the hand analysis is fantastic. It tells you so much about yourself. So it tells you just from your fingerprints, which don't change and are formed while you're still in uterus. And I think she says 16 weeks old. They tell you, and this is based on a system. This is not her like, tea leaves or whatever. It's just like, there's like 4 different patterns: whorl, arch, tended arch, and a loop. Those are the 4 different patterns you can have. But depending on where they are, in which, like how many of each and where they're positioned, that tells you your life lesson, your life purpose, and your life school. So your life school my life school is School of Service. There's 4 different schools: service, wisdom, love, and peace. I'm School of Service, which is a very spiritual thing, which is, I'm here to serve in ways that, unselfishly, but it feels great to me to do it, right? So it's not a quid pro quo. It's just being of service. The danger is to be like too much, to be of servitude and like always like chasing people and like trying to please people. Life purpose is you get a sentence. Again, this is all just from the system. There's no like interpretation in this really. My purpose statement is big shot spiritual teacher in the spotlight. Again, this is just from what my fingerprints actually say. Plus, I have a fingerprint down here in the moon, which is a little special. So that gives here, that adds the spiritual teacher component. And then life lessons are the things the pitfalls you're going to keep falling into. And if you don't master them, then you're on the student path and your life is going to be in the mud. But the moment you master them, then you get to live your purpose and everything gets easy. And every time you grow, you tend to run into the same life lessons again, and you have to learn that lesson at a deeper level and deeper level and deeper level. One of my life lessons is, like, the ultimate kind of summing of it is, am I worthy of love? Am I worthy of love? That's my kind of lesson statement. And realizing my job is to realize that I am worthy of love, whether or not I don't need to do anything to be worthy of love. I'm worthy of love just because I am. And that's, my kind of big life challenge is to realize that. And of course, that's the thing that I need to keep reminding myself on. So this system is amazing. There's more. There's like also the handprints, which do change. And so there's some variation of what happens, that can evolve as you grow. But hand analysis is by far, and fingerprint analysis, my favorite tool for self-discovery. It's just the gifts that keeps on giving. Like I said, 4 years ago, I had the session with Beth, and I just listened to it again, and there's just like so many new things that popped in my head. I just wasn't ready to hear it or receive it at that time. And now it's like perfectly aligned with where I'm going. So I highly recommend that you do that. And the other tool, so go to BethBaeth.com. I don't get any commission or anything for saying this. It's just, it's such an amazing tool, and she's the best. She's the best at doing this. She's incredibly gifted, especially because she also knows all these other tools and systems, and she can kind of put it all together into this big picture for you that you can just summarize, which is amazing. So do yourself a favor, actually. So like you can sign up right now for her session. I don't even know where. I don't have a link or anything, but you can find it. But then before your actual session with her, find out your human design and your wealth dynamics profile, because I know that she knows and loves both of these systems as well, and so she can take that information and combine it. Hey, Ann Kristen from Sweden, and she can combine it into one total picture of you. Amazingly powerful. So definitely do that. So let's talk about human design for a second. Human design is based on your exact moment of birth. So if you know exactly what time of day you were born, BAETH.com, I believe. Let's try that one. Did that go? I don't know. So Beth Davis is her name. So I don't know why my comment didn't show up here. I don't know how that works. All right, BAETH.com. Yeah, human design is based on your birth date and time. So if you don't know the exact time, I find that I've been like messing with it. It's like if you know where, right? Like at least in which time zone, and you know, like I try noon on that day, and then you can try like, you know, at 6 a.m. and then you can try 6 p.m. and just see kind of like, it usually doesn't change much by this specific moment. So you can kind of get close enough. Human design, I find very hard to penetrate, but it's still like really useful. So the fundamental types are generator, manifesting generator, manifester, projector. I forget if there's more. I haven't like studied that system extensively. And then there's some profiles. But one of the things, for example, about being a generator, which I am a generator, 70% of the population are generators. So most of you guys are going to be generators. One of the things that is really insightful about generators is that you should never initiate things. Basically, just wait to respond. Wait to respond. So you visualize, you visualize what you want to create, what you want to manifest. And you put that out there, you communicate it with some people and just get really, really clear. Like this house that you want, or this business that you want, or these clients that you want, or whatever it is. And then you just wait. You wait for it to show up. And the waiting can be super frustrating because you're like, but I want to go chase it. I want to go do something. But that's not what you want to do. If you're a manifester or a manifesting generator, then yes, you can go do that. But as a generator, you don't want to do that, because what's going to happen is you're going to exert yourself and you're not going to get there. So you just want to wait to respond. The universe is going to pop it up when you're very clear in your intention. The universe is going to come up with, like, it's going to prod you. And then you feel in your gut, is this a yes or a no? If this is a clear yes, then you just like go for it, right? And then you have all this passion energy, and you can just go and go and go forever, and that's amazing. So the the generator energy has more energy than anyone. It's just keep going when it's running on passion. But when you're trying to force things and you're not really feeling the passion, then it's not going to work. So these are just examples of how these human design stuff or like these personality tests can help you know who you are, because it's like most of us grow up not knowing it, right? There's these like two philosophies in parenting, right? Number one is like, I got to shape my kid into being who I think they need to be in order to be a successful, happy human being. And so you pursue that. And that can be, like, in my mind, that's awful, right? Like you end up like deforming this kid, and this child doesn't know who the hell they are when they grow up, and they have to kind of undo all of that. Doesn't mean that you don't, like, there's certain things that are universal, like taking responsibility and discipline and things like that we definitely want to instill. We want to instill virtue and character in our kids, but we don't tell them who they are. And then the other school of parenting is that you're really busy discovering who is this child, like curious, like kids come into this world already preformed. They're already something. Like you have more than one kid, you know how different they are, right? They're already different the way they come. And your job as a parent is to discover who they are and then nurture that so that they can grow into being exactly who they are. Right? And if that didn't happen for you, your job today is to grow yourself into that being by discovering, by looking inside and really being curious, like, who am I really? Like, do I want to have this life? Do I want to be, have kids or have a job or be an entrepreneur? Or do I want to just, like, what do I want to do? Like, who am I really? That's your job, to be really curious about that. It can take a long time. It took me, 3 years. In 2003, I was the kind of the first moment that I had a friend who was like, hey, we've been talking about your business and strategy for like 3 hours and I still don't know what you want. And that was the first moment that I realized, oh my God, what I want matters? That's even a thing in business? Oh my God. And then I started to like get a little curious about it, but it's still very scary for me. So it wasn't until literally 5 years later that I sat down and I came to this like flash of insight, this realization that my purpose is to integrate spirituality and entrepreneurship, right? And then I go like much later and do this fingerprint analysis and it says, yep, you're a big shot spiritual teacher in the spotlight. And the big shot is all about manifesting things and having a vision and business and all that stuff, business leading, and the spiritual teacher and all of it in the spotlight. It's like, that's in my fingers. It's so incredible. So it can take a while to really uncover these different layers, and you're going to have a session and you're going to, listen to it. And then you get some things. And then like years later, you re-listen to it and you're like, oh, like completely new, different levels of insight come from it. And that's natural. That's great. That's why it's so awesome that these sessions can be recorded. So Human Design, you can take a free test online and humandesignamerica.com. I also did like a reading with this lady. It was like 2 hours long and she added all of this detail to it. Very useful. I recommend doing that. Do a bunch of them. Do readings from different people and see, they might see different things, right? Because they're going to filter it through their lens. Even though there's a system, there's still the interpretation and how it all fits together. So highly recommend that. So these are some examples. And Kristen says that she did a test Human Design thing and she thinks she was a manifester. So she's the one that will do, like Donald Trump is a manifester. He just goes and he makes shit happen, right? He's very good at manifesting. He manifested a Trump presidency, even though nobody thought that was even remotely possible, right? Pretty powerful shit, pretty powerful stuff. So that's cool. But a manifestor needs a lot of generators around them in order to manifest things. And generators can manifest too. They just do it by waiting. And then when the thing shows up, they respond, right? So super helpful stuff to know, because we can, like the school system teaches like, what do you want? Just go for it, go get it, right? But 70% of the population, that's just the wrong freaking strategy, right? Isn't that like amazing? So crazy. That was my take on tips and tricks to get to know yourself. Really, really powerful. So take the time to just be really, really curious about yourself. And again, just have this as a recurring theme in your life, to take the time to look in and like, who am I? Who am I really? And what beliefs, what identities did I have about who I was that are no longer true for me? It might change, right? It will change over time. And you'll kind of peel off layers and peel off layers and peel off layers to get to know you at a deeper and deeper core level. And that's going to feel so amazing, right? Because when you then go out and you do anything, you meet friends or people or do business or communicate or whatever, like you're doing that from a much deeper place inside of you, from your core. And that is so much more powerful than doing it from kind of your surface identity, or like trying to be something that you're really not, or not even like sure who you are kind of thing. That's just going to be way less impactful than when you're like deeply in tune with like, this is who I am. And you just go out and you meet the world like that with an open chest, an open heart, and just this deep relaxation. You don't need to defend anything because you just know who you are and there's no question about it. That's the power here. That's the power. So go do those things. Go talk to Beth Davis about a life purpose session, a fingerprint session. It's the place to start. And go check out humandesignamerica.com, do a free session. I don't get any commission for any of this stuff. And they have a catalog of different people that you can hire to do a reading in human design. I highly recommend that as well. So, yeah. And then use Trent to for the recording afterwards so that you can easily get a transcript. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. And you'll hear from me again. All right. Bye.